Hello, I'm doing a book review, and the book I want to review is Make Room, Make Room by Harry Harrison. Now, this was published in 1966, and in 1973, this was made into the movie Soylent Green with Charlton Heston, and this edition of the book I have is the movie tie-in edition, because this, of course, is the poster for the movie, and right here they have in big letters, Soylent Green. And I actually find this to be kind of funny. Like, you have in big letters Soylent Green, and then in really small letters it says Make Room by Harry Harrison. Like it's promoting the movie more than the actual book. Now, Make Room is a dystopian novel exploring the dangers of overpopulation. Now, the book is set in the future. It's actually set in the year 1999, because, keep in mind, this book was written in the 60s, so obviously back in the 60s, 1999 was the future. Now, Make Room is set in New York City in the year 1999, and the whole idea of the book is that the world has gotten so overpopulated now that natural resources are at like an all-time low, and nobody drives cars anymore in this future because it turns out we used up all the gasoline, and basically food is like a major problem now because a lot of animals have been driven to extinction, and you find out in the book things like beef and other foods are now a commodity. And I think it even mentions somewhere in the beginning of the book that something about eating dogs, so you realize that food is a major problem, and even water. Like, there are parts in this book where they're having water rations, where they're giving water out to people, you know, so basically things like food and water are a major problem now in this future. So, the plot of the book is it follows a police detective named Andy, who's investigating the murder of this man called Big Mike, who was somebody involved with organized crime, and he was a very rich person, and because of this the police couldn't touch him. But now that he's been murdered, people associated with him thinks that this killing may have been politically motivated, so now they're really keeping Andy on this case. But in the book you realize that the person who actually committed this murder was just an 18-year-old boy named Billy Chung. Now, Billy Chung broke into Big Mike's apartment really with the intention on stealing some money, but then he saw Big Mike and got so scared that he killed him really out of impulse. So you realize that he really didn't mean to kill this guy, but now he's on the run from the police, and basically the plot of the book is Andy is the detective trying to track Billy down. Now, in the book, Andy also develops a relationship with this woman named Cheryl, who is actually Big Mike's lover, but she ends up going to live with Andy, and a lot of the book focuses on their relationship, and you see their relationship slowly start to fall apart when you realize that Andy has to spend more time working on this case than focusing on his relationship with Cheryl. You know, so the book focuses a lot on the relationship between those two characters. Now, Make Room, I thought, was an excellent novel, and it's actually a very terrifying book as well, because it doesn't come off as pure science fiction. It actually comes off as something that could actually happen if society heads in a certain direction. And reading the book, I was actually getting kind of freaked out at how almost brutally realistic the book actually is. Like, I could actually see something like this happening in, like, the next 50 years from now, maybe even less. Now, the book also makes a lot of arguments in favor of birth control. Now, in the book, there's a character named Soul who lives with Andy, and there's a part in the book where he gets into an argument with Cheryl about birth control, and he makes a lot of really good points, and he's almost like the voice of reason in the book. Like, he sees where the world is heading, and you realize realize that he lived in the time before the world got as fucked up as it is now. But yeah, Make Room, Make Room, it definitely paints a very bleak and depressing picture of where society might be heading. Now, this book was made into the movie Soylent Green in 1973 with Charlton Heston. Now, the movie changed a lot from the book, and the movie focused more on the food aspect of the story, and in the movie there was a food product called Soylent Green, which people were pretty much living off of, and basically in the movie they add a big twist at the end about what Soylent Green actually is, but none of that is actually in the book. That was all stuff that was added for the movie. Also, the movie took out certain characters who were in the book as well. But yeah, that's my review on Make Room, Make Room by Harry Harrison, and bye.